You've probably watched many success stories of Kenyans living abroad, but that does not mean that it is always smooth. There can be ups and downs. Here in the UK, I've met one Jimmy Odienge, who lives in Derby, some 2 hours drive from London, who is willing to share with us his rough side of life in the UK.
I came in 1992. Initially, I came in as a visitor. In those days, Kenyans did not need visas to come to the United Kingdom. So we would come and get the visas right at the airport.
So for Jimmy, the entry was as easy as a pie. But later, he would come to terms with the real meaning of living abroad.
Life was very rough. There were not very many Kenyans around at that time.
He would soon find himself on the streets.
I remember spending nights in the bus when I didn't have a house. I would go into the night buses, and the good thing about London is that it's a 24-hour life. So buses are all over 24 hours. So I would go from the last stop to the next stop. At the end of the stop, I come out and then jump to the next bus going back. And that's how I would sleep.
Jimmy then got a chance to go to the university.
My stay was supposed to be for 6 months, but it was also easy to join a college and extend your status. So that's what I did. I did music management at Brunel University. Then I got employed as a teacher, and for some reason my employers they folded up, so there was no more work for me. Rather, my employers, they ceased operating. I was working for a private school. At that time, my wife, she was my girlfriend then. We had to go through the worst of our moments.
After losing a job as a teacher, life had to go on.
I decided to do taxi. So at that time, I borrowed my friend's car. This car has no insurance, no tax, no MOT. In London, you have to have the three to drive a car. The MOT is a certificate to show that your car is roadworthy.
At that time, Jimmy says he had already been kicked out of his house for he could not afford rent. The taxi became his home.
And that time I would leave my girlfriend, who is my wife now, leave her standing at the taxi office. By the time I'm coming back, my poor girl has been rained on, she's wet all over. Then I turn on the heating in the car. She sits in the car as we wait for the next turn.
The taxi business would eventually become untenable, he says, and his next move was to get a job in a mortuary as an undertaker.
Undertaker means people who care for the body of the dead bodies. My first duty was to clean them up, dressing up a dead body. Let's call it dead body. Then I moved on from that point to the worst point was to collect bodies.
A well-paying job, he says, but traumatizing.
And that was the most trying moment of my life as well.
He quit the job to try something else, teach music.
So I began teaching music in houses, and slowly we set up a college. We began with about 10 students, but by 2005 we had about 4,000 students. It was a full-fledged college. We were giving courses as external program for University of London. We were giving also for the London College University. We were giving for Brunel as well. Those were external students to those universities.
Unfortunately, again, his business started taking a dip. Why? Because of changing immigration rules in the UK that affected his students.
The changes to immigration rules meant that if you are studying at a private college, you were not allowed to bring in your spouse or a family. Number two, you are not allowed to work. And that saw most of our clients actually leaving and going back to their countries.
At the same time, Jimmy, a father of two, fell sick. His wife had to look for employment, but still things were worsening, with the family struggling to pay bills.
We were not able to keep up with our mortgages. And the problem is that most of our houses, we took equity on each house to buy the next one. And so each houses were tied up to the next one. So when the repossession came, they repossessed almost everything.
How many houses?
Those were 5 houses in the capital of London. And everything was repossessed. And that was another point where I thought I was going to become a senior bachelor again. And I remember her words. She told me one time that that she married me for life. I'm really proud of my wife. So she supported me while I was bedridden. She had a very, I tell you, Alex, it was a very trying moment. She'd wake up in the morning, take care of the kids. You know, the kids were very young that time. One was about 1 year old. The next one was 3 years old. Prepare them for nursery, prepare their breakfast, and still prepare my rubbish in the bed. You know, remove it and take it to the laundry,